So I've just read a New York Times article that is unbelievably mad. No, so the title is East African Housekeepers Face Rape, Assault and Death in Saudi Arabia. Now, this is annoying me because it ties to something I've been talking about for a while. And it's this thing where you talk to young Africans and they are just fixated on the transatlantic slave trade and would want to blame others for all the wars in Africa. And I'm not saying the transatlantic slave trade was a good thing, but I'm simply saying that there are things happening today. There are things our so-called leaders in Africa are allowing today that people should be more angry about. And so these stories are so there's a story of Acheng, or whatever they call the person's name, the husband of a lady who said his wife who then went to Saudi. And you see, the way this thing is happening is there are agencies linked to strong politicians. And I think, according to the article, some members of the Saudi royal family are linked to this business where they bring people in to come and be housekeepers. And a good number of these people end up in coffins back home or completely damaged. There's the report says over 274 people from East Africa, mostly Uganda and Kenya, died in the last 5 years. And just last year alone, 55 people dead. And the Saudi authorities would report all of this as natural death. There's a story of one Mr. Isiko Moses who said when he heard of his wife's death, he got in touch with her employer in Saudi, and the guy was giving her an option between getting his wife's body back or $2,800 in her wages. And when he said the body came, the autopsy done by the Saudis exposed, and this is unbelievable. Her body was completely emaciated. She had extensive bruising, 3 broken ribs, and what appeared to be severe electrocution burns on her ear, hand, and feet. And the Saudi authorities said that was natural death. There's this other one where Acheng, and this was an account from her mom, said she called home sometime in 2022 in serious panic and saying that her boss had threatened to kill her and throw her in a water tank. She was screaming, "Please come and save me, please come and save me." Not too long after then, this lady was found dead in a water tank on a rooftop. And according to the autopsy from the Saudis, that her body was too decomposed to be able to determine cause of death. And what did they do? They said it was natural cause. The story goes on and on and on. There was a Mary who was thrown from a balcony and is now in wheelchair. Over 90 people were dead. In fact, one of the parts I read says people from rural areas of Kenya would always go to the cities to bring the coffins and corpses of their loved ones home a couple of times in a month. And you want to be bothered about something that happened over 200 years ago, when there's a lot you can do about something that is currently happening. And I will link the article in the description so you can read for yourself. Countries like were able to negotiate pay increase and better working conditions for their own citizens. But these African leaders, I saw on the website that some of these Saudis who get these housekeepers actually claim that they bought these people. And according to the article, that on the website you'd actually see you can add humans to cats. So you pick a housemaid and then you add to cart and buy. And there are clear adverts saying maids, Kenyan maids for sale. In 2025. And you want to be bothered about something that happened over 200 years ago, where you couldn't have been able to influence, and where there's a lot you can do now? I wrote a poem a while ago titled "No Longer in Chains but in Plains," and what I was trying to say there is how 200 years ago, people were kicking and screaming and being caught and dragged abroad in chains to be enslaved. We have scenarios now where people queue up, beg, pay, and cry and struggle and all kinds of connections they even need to go and be enslaved in other countries. I think if you're really upset about the enslavement of humans and again, I don't want some of these people who would come here and be blaming the victims. There's this proverb that says, if you see a rat running into fire, what that tells you is that what is chasing that rat is definitely hotter than the fire. So these people are just looking for means of survival. If you have a government that subjects people to unlivable conditions, it is in human nature to find a means of survival. It is built into our genetics to try to, in fact, most of the physical features you have were developed as a result of you trying to adapt for survival. So please don't blame these people. These are victims of bad governance and of wicked leaders. And so I wouldn't want anyone to come here and start blaming these people. Why did they go there in the first place? They have to survive. The people to blame is not the transatlantic slave trade over 200 years ago or the victims. It's the so-called leaders who profit from this evil act and who loot and steal the resources of their country, subjecting people to this level of treatment. To be honest, this is heartbreaking, and I've just decided to come and rant and just pour my heart out and hopefully feel better after that. But I don't know what you think, if you've had similar experiences or stories, but please feel free to share. And I don't know what you think we can do apart from the fact that holding our leaders responsible. Should I call them leaders? Anyways, I hope you're having a lovely day. Don't let this bog you down. Keep on having a lovely day and think about what is happening.